Somotla ke bele ko dumedisahle re ntse re le ka re ho Thahameso. Banka ya lefatshe e re ho tloha selemong sa 1999 fihlela selemong sa 2020 tlhoko ya mesebetsi ya holo batjheng ka hare ho naha ke palo e ka etsang 32 le kgolong. Mokgatlo wa lefatshe wa kgiro la bosebetsi e leng ILO o re boemo bona bo qadile ho mpefala selemong sane sa 2007 mme hwa eba boima haholo ka 2009 ka lebaka la ho putlama ha moruo wa lefatshe. Motle le ha o le jalo ho arabela bothata bona o mongwe mekgatlo e matjhaba e sebetsanang le merero ya setjhaba e leng Ryze International ile ya fihla ka re ho naha selemong sane sa 2017 e etsa merero e mmalwa ka re ho naha mme hara yona ke o bitswang in-loco o ileng wa nka baithuti ba seng ba phethetse dithuto tsa bona empa ba sa sebetse mmoho le dikhampani tse seng dina le boiphihlelo ho etsa merero e ntlafatsang setjhaba. E se e batla e le dilengwana jwale Ryze International e le ka re ho naha mme se ena le diemahale tse teng tse tshwarehang. Kajeno e tla be kgakola jwalo ntlafatso ya dikolo sekolong sa mathomo sa Seboka ntho e bitswang fela 5 hub schools developments mme ho utlwa ka merero e meng e kenyeletsang ena re tlo buisana jwalo le mothehi wa Ryze International e le Mfumahadi Daniela Guzman. Meg Guzman, good morning and welcome to Thahameso.
Good morning, thank you very much.
It's been long.
Yes, great to be back.
Right. Now, Ryze International has been in the country for quite a few years now, and you seem to have quite found a home outside home.
Yes.
We first knew you with in-loco program where you brought together university graduates from different institutions and executed some community development activities. Brief us about the in-loco program and how it impacted the communities you have worked with.
Yes, absolutely. So in-loco is all about converting job seekers into job creators. We have a very big problem in Lesotho with youth unemployment, and it's getting worse every year. So we're all about empowering youth, giving them the skills that they need. When they graduate from school at either diploma or associate degree level, they have the theoretical knowledge, but they don't have the practical knowledge, which they really need in order to set up their businesses. So we recruit cohorts of young graduates who finish studying architecture, civil engineering, plumbing, carpentry, construction management, all the built environment professions. And we partner with vulnerable communities that need infrastructure development. So we then train the fellows how to design and build, and also to improve the quality of design and construction. Because, with the severe weather climates we have in Lesotho, we need to improve thermal efficiency of our buildings to make them warmer in winter and cooler in summer. And so the fellows have the hands-on practical experience through the 8 to 10 month fellowship program. And then at the end, the vulnerable communities have the infrastructure that they need, the fellows get the experience that they need, and then we help the fellows set up their own businesses so that they basically then start employing other people and refer projects to them. So the impact is twofold. One is on the fellows getting the much needed experience, and the second is the community getting the much needed infrastructure that they need.
Many of the projects are meant to improve infrastructure for vulnerable communities, while at the same time creating educational opportunities and entrepreneurial training for unemployed youth wanting to become entrepreneurs. Why such a direction? What have you seen lacking when you said it, now I have to help the vulnerables?
What we've seen lacking is, of course, there's lack of job opportunities and lack of self-belief, lack of lack of appetite for taking risks. A lot of youth are in survival mode, and when you have to become an entrepreneur, you have to take risks, you have to be very confident, you have to persuade other people to believe in you, and so there's a lot of interpersonal skills, I would say, and those soft skills that are lacking, that ability to also work together, to collaborate, to problem solve, to negotiate, to really go for what you need and want in order to make your enterprise succeed. So those are a lot of the skills. And then on the community side, we need so much infrastructure, improvement. We need more houses, we need more clinics, we need more hospitals, we need more roads and bridges, health clinics, schools. This is also what I'd like to talk about today, the special event that we're launching today. Now with COVID as well, we need to address you know, how do we tackle the very overcrowded schools? We can't keep having 50, 60, 70 children jam-packed in one classroom. So there's a lot of infrastructure development that's needed in the country, as well as on the job creation side.
So you say one can remember projects like Phedisano Lesotho, daycare centers improvement, Landford project, construction of Ashanti footbridge, to mention but a few. How is the feedback or response from the youth you are engaging in these projects with, and also the impact it has done to the communities?
I would say some of our biggest impacts is that basically the youth realize, because what we focus on is a lot is human-centered design, participatory design. Before you design anything, now this goes for everything in life, not just buildings. Before you design anything, whether it's a product or a service, you have to understand the needs of the community you're trying to create that service or product for. So you need to really get into that community, speak to as many people as possible, so you get the different perspectives. You understand the needs, the challenges, what their wants and desires, and what their long-term goals are. And that, I think, transformation of mindset, whereby architects, engineers have to focus on what the needs are and have a service provision that is answering that need, and what is their value add. So how do they bring value, and what gaps are they trying to fill? So that, I would say, is one of the biggest impacts we're having in the entrepreneurs that we're working with, because it really affects the way that they design their projects moving forward. And then in the communities, because they are involved from the beginning through to the end, you know, the project is very much theirs. Even, you know, what we're going to be talking about today with the schools, the community, it's not about Ryze coming in, implementing a project on behalf of the community. It's a partnership, it's a collaboration from the beginning. So there's that empowerment from the communities, knowing that this is a project that they are in charge of. It's their project from the beginning. And so there's that psychological shift of getting away from, oh, it's not that we need intervention all the time. We have the power and the ability to bring about change, and we can do it together. It's all about collaboration and coming together and bringing the resources, technical expertise, and whatever is needed to make that happen.
Not only do you partake in infrastructure development for the less privileged, but also in entrepreneurial skills and how has that been going, and what have you achieved to date?
Yeah, so to date we have had about over 45 fellows who've been through our programs and who have been through our fellowship. They have set up over 16 companies. They've generated employment not just for themselves, but for other people as well. Their income has on average increased by about 57% per month. So really a lot of improvement in quality of life for the fellows, and also increasing the awareness of the need for thermal insulation in buildings. For example, we have very cold winters, and if we keep building these buildings with single walls where you don't have insulation, you're going to be wasting a lot of bills on warming up your house, and then you're basically warming up the environment, which is very problematic. The next project we want to now start doing is also researching what locally sourced materials we can find to use to reduce the amount of waste material that goes into landfill. Perhaps we can use material from the garment industry, for example, as insulation materials. So the impact we're having is the building of these young entrepreneurs and upskilling them, as you said, on their soft skills, having self-belief, increasing their appetite to take risks, ability to negotiate, ability to collaborate. What's so important with the fellowship is taking all of these different trades and professions so that they build these networks and generate that peer-to-peer empowerment, so they know who to go to when they take on projects, and also improve the quality of design and the quality of construction, and promoting materials that can be found within Lesotho. So we'd stop importing everything from South Africa. COVID has brought a lot of positive things around that. When borders were closed, you couldn't get hold of materials, so it really increased the sensitivity and urgency of how do we buy it local. So buy Lesotho products, and let's make more products. Yes.
Ryze is a non-profit making social enterprise. How do you achieve in making all this project success?
So What we've had, our financial model, a social enterprise, is basically the same as a company, but the difference is the profits go back into the programs and the communities in which we work. And people love that model because it's basically investing in the future of our youth. And it means that, you know, we're not constantly dependent on donations. So we have to generate our own income. We want to practice what we preach, and we're preaching to the youth that you have to be empowered and self-sufficient and independent and not dependent on others. So we as an organization also need to be that. So what we do is we have some grant money that helps pay towards our overheads so that we can do projects at minimum possible costs for vulnerable communities. But then we take on social enterprise projects where we charge for that service, and those finances go towards our programmatic implementation, so we can be self-sustaining and self-funding.
Now today, in a few hours' time, you guys are launching the 5 Hub School projects. Tell us about it.
Yes, this is a super exciting project that we've been planning for almost a year now. It's a project, there's so much collaboration going on. So it's a project we're doing in partnership with a not-for-profit in Ireland called Action Ireland Trust. They've actually been working in Lesotho since 2007. And it's a beautiful partnership because they focus a lot on teacher training, improvement of education, and also on planning. And when I met with them back in 2019, they were still very reliant on bringing in a lot of their professionals to come and do a lot of the oversight of work that they were doing here. They did a project in Hahalele, developed the first early childhood development center there, and did a lot of work for the schools in that area. But they were very reliant on bringing over architects and engineers and building professionals. So when we met and told them all about the work that we do at Ryze, they were very enthusiastic about building and empowering local youth and offering employment opportunities for young entrepreneurs in the built environment. So that's a really super exciting partnership. And then Action Ireland Trust has partnered and Ryze has partnered with the 5 hub schools. So there's 5 schools that are working collaboratively, and they are Saboka Primary School, Ditabaneng Primary and High School, Makwanyani, and Lekele. And they are working collaboratively to transform their schools into becoming child-friendly schools. Child-friendly schools is an international initiative headed by UNICEF and lots of other educational players that basically makes the child at the center of education and creates schools to make them a happy, safe and healthy environment that children want to be in to learn, to create that conducive environment for learning. And the Ministry of Education and Training has identified these 5 schools as top priority schools who are in desperate need of infrastructure improvements as well as teacher training. So together with Action Ireland Trust, we've embarked on this 4 to 5 year program that we're launching today, and the sword turning event is this morning, yes.
And what actually does this project entail?
So there's lots of aspects to the project. First of all is the infrastructure development. We're going to be building running water toilets. You know, some of these schools have got 1,500 children with no toilets. Some of those that do have toilets are those terrible drop Petroclean toilets that, you know, that you can smell them, you know, meters before you get to them. So it's about creating safe and healthy running water toilets, building school kitchens so that they are using smokeless, energy efficient stoves. You know, at the moment they're cooking in very, very poor conditions, often outdoors, affected by the climate, burning lots of wood, which is not good for the environment. We're creating water harvesting systems, so collecting water that from the rain onto the roofs and collecting them into tanks that are then going to help feed the food gardens. So food gardens are very important to help reduce the bill that the schools have to pay to feed the children, but also as an income generating activity. All the projects that we do have got to have a social enterprise element to them so that we're helping communities also become financially independent and self-sufficient. So the food gardens will help the schools with the local communities generate income. So those are the key infrastructure developments that we're working on. And we're starting at Saboka and Lekele with those projects, and then we'll be rolling out into the other schools. And then on the teacher training side, also all the teachers are being trained in information technology, in how to reduce and eliminate corporal punishment, how to make sure that the learning environment is increasing entrepreneurial skills amongst the youth. So really helping improve our children in Lesotho become ready for the working environment and the world that they'll be stepping into once they finish education.
Wow.
Well, we never finish education though, right? But when they finish schooling, because life is all about learning.
Yeah. All right. Then no, that's awesome. Any other project you are cooking after this one?
Oh, we've got so many at the moment. Yes, we are about to launch the low-cost improvements for daycare centres in Maputswe, which is a project in collaboration with Catholic Relief Services. Again, daycare centres are in very low-quality conditions because the mothers have got very low income from the factories. We know all that right now with the protests and strikes going on. We're also working this afternoon, actually, we've got a participatory design workshop in Morija. I don't know if you know about the hub there. They do a lot of amazing work for human rights using the creative sector, filming and videography. So we're going to be designing an extension, because at the moment they have a room about the size of this studio, and they do incredible work there. We're also doing some conservation and heritage projects in Morija. We've also got various projects in a project in Pitseng with Pedisanong Center, building a kitchen and water access for the center there for children with disabilities, and various others. I could sit here and list all our projects, but I don't want to bore you and the viewers. But yes, it's all terribly exciting. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Daniela, thank you for your time and good luck on your other projects too.
Thank you so much. Kelaboha.
Mosute motla ke ne ke buisana jalo le mofumadi Daniela Guzman, yena ke mothehi wa Ryze International, e leng setsi sena kapa organization ena e sebetsanang haholo le merero ya ntlafatso ho setjhaba. Ha re kgefutse.